Hello and welcome back. Our final game of the week is just around the corner. Team Pandemonium taking on Royalty. Team Pandemonium putting on an absolute dominating clinical performance in game number one. Alpha Jackal Royalty need to find something here in the Pixel Bands in game number two in order to really be competitive at all with the Pandas.
They need to pick some early game, and we said it before, we said it again. Some lane has to win. Some lane has to win. We're going to go straight into picks and bans now. Pandemonium, they're going to be the first pick of this game. Royalty elected to take second, and I don't I don't know exactly what the bans are going to be, but Pandemonium, I expect something of the same again, with them looking for control out of the jungle.
If Raven isn't banned, Raven should be the first in Pandemonium just to give Kikiamiya a winning lane. That's thus far seemed to be their strategy for me. Is just get him something he can be comfortable on, and then the rest of the roster will sort itself out. Terra banned from Team Pandemonium, Susano banned from Royalty, so again, just preventing Rogue from playing on something he can carry out of the jungle with. Although that strategy last time didn't seem to really work out. Raijin banned away by the Pandas.
One ban left open to go. Could be the Nemesis, could be the Raven to stop Kikiyomiya from picking that one up. First pick from Royalty. It's going to be the Thor. Not too sure on this ban. Yes, Ro has a decent Thor, but he's shown more proficiency in playing on the Wheelix. Shown more proficiency playing on the Naja as well. So one of those two bans would have made a lot more sense to me.
Yeah, me as well. Raven first pick. Called it. I'm a psychic. Raven first pick. Pick percentage, win percentage, both speak for themselves in terms of what he can do. In fact, the only game that Raven lost was when Corvidae beat Alpha City just before. Every game that Kikiamiya has played Raven with, he's won. So it's gonna be rough for Royalty to win the solo lane. So what I'm looking for here now is something that can win in the duo lane, and that's what they're gonna get the Fafnir for. So we saw the Fafnir Ao Kwon combo work wonders for Corvidae. Royalty looking to emulate that success.
And I think it might do, because Alkwong and Fafnir, we said about it before, two dragons, and Fafnir's proficiency in CC makes up for Alkwong's lack of CC. But Pandemonium, they're drafting in double ADCs here, with Freya going to be in the ADC for the dual lane, and Neith going to be in that mid lane. Sole pickup for Royalty can go to either one of them, and I want to see who Pandemonium pick up support first before they decide where Soul goes.
I like the Freya and Neith pickup because Fafnir's already got good wave clear. Combining it with a Neith is you're just gonna lose that lane, especially if you're gonna pick a Freya. So that denies an ADC to Royalty that can clear wave and put this Freya behind, and also gives Ochita a strong pick in the mid lane that he can influence the rest of the map with. Nemesis is going to be the ban from Royalty, and Vamana now going to be a ban from Team Pandemonium.
Bacchus is going to be the ban away by Royalty as well. Freya Bacchus, I wouldn't be too scared of that one as someone like Fafnir in this early game. It's whether the late game comes into it, and that's when it can be scary. So I don't really see the idea of that ban. Sylvanas was played by Richard Castle last week, and it was played to an absolute fault, and I would like to have seen that banned away instead. Elong Shen going to be the final ban here by Team Pandemonium, as the Amaterasu gets picked up by Royalty.
Yeah, I like the Amaterasu. The pick here, I don't think that pick percentage is accurate. I think it's the I think we've only seen Shred play it thus far. I could be mistaken, but it's definitely not 100% pick rate. The Amaterasu is decent. It loses lane for the first little bit of the game, but after that, after you start to hit the kind of mid-game mark, you start to be able to clear lane a little bit more efficiently, and you can contribute a lot in a team fight. Serket and Sylvanas picked up here. So Serket, a lot of mobility to get away from the Alquang and the Fafnir, and then Sylvanas, a lot of sustain for Team Pandemonium.
Like I said, he played it last set, and he played it like he was Sylvanas. Chingwei going to pick up as the ADC for Royalty to go against this in the Sylvanas lane. Could have a good time clearing against it, just have to make sure that they get to lane first. But the Serket pickup is there to counter the Alquang. Because you teleport away your ability, you won't be able to see him unless you hit him with a dot-based ability, and that's exactly what Serket's ultimate does. It ticks with poison.
Alrighty, we're going to go ahead and head into game here in just a moment, but looking at these picks, Team Pandemonium seems to have the stronger team composition.
And I wouldn't be surprised to see them take away a lot of buffs from Royalty again. It's just up to Royalty to say, we're not going to get picked early, we're not going to force fights that we don't have to, we're just going to farm up and get something going for us in this left-hand side. Because looking at Degoris, looking at Shank, Degoris can beat Max in the lane. He showed that he could solo him. And we're in game, as you can see, Shank versus Richard Castle. it's a difficult matchup for Fafnir against this Sylvanas because any form of poke that you will do against him is just going to get healed up.
Exactly right. And as you mentioned, Richard Castle, a very versatile and very skillful Sylvanas. I really like the Neath on Ochita. We don't see him play ADCs in the mid lane too much, so it's good to see him diversifying his god pool a bit. But against a Soul, which is what Royalty has got, he's going to have the early wave clear advantage, and that's really what Team Pandemonium want. If they can get the push in the mid lane, it allows Ochita and Roe to make a couple of key rotations around the map to help either their duo lane or their solo lane. And in this game, imagine really it's the duo lane that's going to feel a lot of the focus, given that Kikyo is on a Raven.
There's not too much you can do against a Raven unless you're Alquang or Circuit, because those two, or even a Nemesis, because those three junglers can really burst down a warrior very quickly. And I'm looking at Royalcast to say, well, if I'm going to be ahead, if I can get ahead, and I can start snowballing, I'm going to come over to Kikyo and I'm going to shut this down, and I'm going to stop you having this 100% win percentage on this god. Mid lane rotations have been made already by the junglers. A Cheetah, only level 1, and I don't know how he was only level 1, given that most of the wave was already dead.
That's very strange to me as well, because they took away the back camps as well. So I'm not sure. That's very odd to me. But he's going to be getting some experience here from the right hand side camps, and he's going to pick up some experience from the early minions as well. So that early deficit has already been made up.
On the left-hand side already, the pressure's coming out from Pandamonium, where Richard Castle and Maxon already have the wave clear advantage because they got to lane first. And this, it's going to be a nice raw pull onto Thegoras as well. And the meditation's already been forced.
That's really important here from Team Pandemonium. Good stun there from Shank. Jumps forward actually into a lot of the damage. Good route from Richard Castle. Maxon doing so much damage to Shank here. And with the meditation down, he's really going to struggle for the next little while in lane.
He's going to have to heal. He's going to have to make use of that Watcher's Gift passive to heal himself back up to full HP. But Maxon just putting on the pressure consistently. Good stuff by Shank to stop some of this pulse wave play coming out from Maxon.
I mean, it's not going to be enough. If your Freya's getting this much early push already against you, you're really in some trouble.
And the whole thing about picking Freya is you accept the fact that you're going to lose a bit of the pressure in the early game. You accept the fact that you're going to be under your tower for a bit. But you trade that out for saying, I'm going to kill you all in late game, try and stop me if you can. But Maxon's just having the time of his life right now, pushing up as far as he pleases.
You mentioned this in the picks and bans and early in the game. It's this Sylvanas pick that's really helping him. It's helping him get a lot of rapid push down onto the minions, and giving him the sustain really to keep him in. Good pull in there from Richard Castle. Thegoras managed to get under tower. Right hand side, back camps as well. Roe comes through. World Weaver as well. Kozna trapped in place. Roe uses his ultimate, trying to get Kozna. Kozna manages to stay alive. Now, good slow here. Roe might be taken down, actually, but Ochita picks up the first kill. The broken weave was perfect there from Ochita. Gets himself a double kill. The right-hand side back camp so deep into Royalty's jungle. That's gotta be unfortunate.
And your back copies are safe. Your back copies are what you can farm up when there's nothing else to farm. You're meant to be secure in those, but double kill for Ochita. Rotation coming for Suspiria is absolutely for nothing. And this left-hand side is still pushing up. There's nothing going for Royalty again.
I mean, the Amaterasu, is going to lose the lane a little bit to a Raven, but your Jingwei and your Fafnir shouldn't be losing lane to the Thegoras. Manages to purify away from the Wrath of Terror damage, but he's got nothing left for the slows coming out from Max, and Valkyrie's discretion as well. Trying to get redemption for being solid from the Thegoras last game, but Thegoras barely managing to stay alive here. Minions are coming in now, so Thegoras has to run between towers to stay alive. On the opposite side, however, speed buff being invaded by Team Pandemonium. It's still alive. Ochita and Ochita by himself taking to the speed, while Roe and Kikyo zone out the rest of Royalty.
Rose already used his Wrath though in that last engagement on those back copies to stun out Royalcaster for that double kill. But he's still actually getting the invader because good so for Kikyo. He's playing this Raven as aggressively as you'd like it to be seen.
Left-hand side, some split engagements going on. Shank in the Draconic form. Actually, a Giant Griffin here with that skin. Not going to find Maxon with the Cursed Strength stun. So again, Team Pandemonium finding victories across the board.
And it's the invade again onto that speed buff. That's really setting the pace for this game. Royalcaster already behind on the jungle matchup. 500 gold and 2 levels behind Roe. And Roe's not going to let that up. He's going to be invading that speed buff consistently. And
the Circuit really offers him the ability to do that in this game with the amount of mobility she has. We mentioned it in the picks and bans, and again at the start of the game. The ambush leap to be able to get over the walls. You've got the Deathbane as well. There's a nice dash. Really going to be difficult to lock the Circuit down without a lot of, CC or burst damage.
Red buff is safe for Royalty to take that away as they give up the left side a bit of harpies, and they're going to be okay with that because they're still securing some of their own farms, some of their own buffs. You need to secure your own side of your jungle first before you can then go for the contestable farm. And Royalty are recognizing that they're trying to get something going for them, and I believe they can do it on this mid lane, as Kozna is having a good game so far.
Yeah, he's been able to get off a bit of damage. He's died once for the first blood, but he was absolutely demolished by the Row and a Cheetah combination. He's starting to get to the point where he can really clear the waves very fast, though. And the Soul can offer a lot in a team fight with a Supernova ultimate, can knock up multiple targets, very similarly to how Richard Castle with the Sylvanas can knock up multiple people with the Wrath of Terror. If Costa can find a good Supernova ultimate, that could maybe be the initiation that Royalty needs. Traditionally you see a support to it, but a good Supernova ult from Kozna could be a game changer here.
And it's just up to Shank to be getting the CC right and getting the CC on point for Kozna to then put a lot of that Supernova ability into the same target. And you can look at Royal Custard as well to then follow up with the Execute. And this Alcong, it's going to be getting going in about 10 minutes, I like to say, once he's got his Polynomic and once he has this helmet online.
I do like the helmet as well, considering the amount of physical damage that he's going to be encountering early in the game. Since Ochita is a Neath in the mid lane, it's a smart pickup. It shows that, like, Royalty actually think about the game.
Mid lane going to get pressured a bit, and whatever poke that Royalty have been able to get off so far, Richard Castle's just been there to say, here you go, have some HP back. That poke's just nothing anymore.
That's definitely been difficult for Royalty to deal with. Kikimira, right hand side, owning Suspira away from the wave. Just standing there looking at him. Suspira just can't do anything. Towards the mid-camp, Shank in the Draconic form. Row stunned out there. Royal Custard takes a whole heap of damage there. Supernova Ultimate and Row forced to Deathbane dash away. Maxim's rotated over as well, looking for something here. Looking with the Valkyrie's discretion, finds Kozna. Can't find Royal Custard in the end. But a nice pickup there for Team Pandamonium. And now, look, again, it's a buff invade.
Yeah, they're timing these engagements, they're timing these fights for when this buff is up, because they know that they can win these fights. They know that they can have the amount of damage required to get a kill to then force this invade out. But something which I didn't realize before is that Circuit's Last Breath ultimate does not get applied to a soul if she's already disapparated.
I mean, it's a little bit of a counter, but really, Ro's looking to burst it down before he can even get into that Disapparate form. And, with a World Weaver ultimate on his side and a Wrath of Terror, which does a surprising amount of damage and dot damage in combination with Wisps, I doubt it's going to make that much of a difference.
Of course it did. Costa did die in that fight, unfortunately. That's what forced that invade off again. They recognize the fact that Costa is a bit of a danger in this mid-game, but just making sure that this gets shut down. Because they're already shutting down Royal Costa with his constant jungle invades and constant pressure going up across the map. And that's how you really just take it away from a jungler's presence. Kozna, the one that's left open, needs to be careful of the Gorus who is able to solo Maxon.
And as well as this, we saw in the Corvidae set, when Trilogy played this Alquang, he actually managed to stay relatively even with Slicey. Now, given Slicey was a Mercury and a late game pick as well, but in this game, Royal Custard is 2 levels behind, 1,100 gold at 8 minutes into the game. It's not a great start, and for an Alquang to be relevant, we said it in the last series as well. Alquang is pretty much the definition of late game.
And on the left-hand side, we see an engagement. ADC fights going on. Maxon, he wants to get a solo kill this time. Now comes the World Weaver ultimate. That's going to be claiming the kill. This Royal Costa gets a block in. No, Ochita gets it. He's taken away the one thing Maxon wanted, and Maxon's going to die for it.
The Royal Custard gets the kill. Maxon is... Oh my goodness. That's so unfortunate for him. Doesn't get the kill and dies for it as well. Ochita's got to be giggling.
I mean, that's... Ochita wants all the kills this game. He's got 3 of them already. He's a very greedy Neath.
I mean, that's just his playstyle as well. I think we mentioned at the start of the week for this is that Ochita had the second most kills last split, only just behind Only Good at Solo. Continuing this trend thus far in this split, clearing out a ward towards the Gold Fury. Haven't seen any of the Golden Harpies taken this game. It's all been farm invade. Right-hand side, Ro and Kikimio combining onto Suspira, dashing away, but the Last Breath Poison has been activated. Ro jumps on, applies some more damage, and Suspira falls down.
That was just such a cool collected kill there for Ro. Jumps onto Suspira and then just walks away, knowing that the poison was going to get the final tick of damage required for that kill. And 2 levels ahead is Kikimio on this Raven. He's been handling this lane and handling Suspira.
I mean, that's Raven. No, I
Yeah,
don't.
pretty much.
That's the official analysis on this lane. Is Kikyomiyo is playing Raven, and that's why he's doing so well. Maxon clearing some minions here on the right hand side, doing some damage to Thegoris as well, but you know he's not having too bad of a time of it. He hasn't gone for the Witchblade start that Thegoris did last game on the Freya. Gold Fury started up by the Pandas. Shank misses the stun, goes into the Dragon form. That's really unfortunate because he can't do any damage to the Gold Fury while he's doing that. So it's essentially a wasted ultimate. Gets a stun into Richard. If they can find a pick off of it, it might not be too bad. Maxon actually knocked up there very nicely from Thegoris, but a good whoop from Maxon gets Thegoris away, but he manages to dash. Airstrike ultimate comes through, and same with the Supernova, but both do no damage whatsoever to the Team Pandamonium. Royalcasted, taking it below 25% HP. He's looking for an execute here, and he gets it onto Ro. Shank transforming back into the dwarf form. Ochita takes a lot of damage. Backflips here. Royalcasted looking for another kill. He's got himself a double. The Alquang starting to do some work, but Maxid comes through with a Valkyrie's Discretion and cleans up Shank. And now he's looking to clean out Royalcasted, but Kikyomiyo claims that scalp. Thegoris and Suspira. Thegoris pulled back in by Richard Castle. Dot damage from the Wisp is enough as the Mystic Rush comes through from Kikyomiyo. Suspira dashing away. Maxon chasing after the Amaterasu. Kikyomiyo is here. I don't know if they'll be able to catch him, however, given that movement speed buff Amaterasu has.
No, I'm just going to go ahead and try and kill onto Constant instead. Kikyomiyo, he still wants to chase. That's a solo laner mentality. Just try and kill your opponent. Maxon, he gets a solo kill in his own, but this time it's onto Constant, not onto Thegoris.
Spira still being chased under the tower by Kikyomiyo. Kiki not afraid to take some of these tower shots here. Shank has rotated in, but not before Suspira falls down.
Suspira should have just kept on running and running and running, because Kikyomiyo was not going to give it that chase until Suspira got back to the well, I believe.
Royalcasted looking for Kikyomiyo, under 25% HP. Duck up here from Thegoris. If he chases after him, he could find the kill here. Fatalis effect has been procced. Kikyomiyo forces use of meditation. Nowhere to run here. Actually, Richard Castle, though, runs in, saves his brother's life with the Wisp, and forces to disengage along with Ochita.
And that was a good meditation use, and unfortunate basic attack misses from Thegoris as well, just means that Kikyomiyo gets out alive. Shoutouts not having any penetration against the Breastplate of Valor.
Alrighty, nearly 12 minutes in the game. 10-3, read the scorelines. Let's take a look at the graphs now. Not as bad as last game. 9,000 experience difference, 5,000 gold difference. World Weaver on the left-hand side coming through for Thegoris, but actually it's blocked along the way by Shank. Shank probably wasn't expecting that one, but it saved Thegoris' life.
And Ochita, he's going to be a bit sad about that one, because that would have meant a kill onto Thegoris and a kill for Maxon as well. He's still going aggressive, still looking at just putting some damage to what he can into Shank, and he's getting obliterated. Not having any form of magical defense so far, but forced out into Valkyrie's Discretion. Maxon, he's going to get caught out here by Royalcasted. Good use of Sanctuary to avoid a lot of the damage from this Alquang.
They actually disengaged rather quickly there. I'm wondering if they had a ward down. See Richard Castle and Ochita coming through. I think actually Cosner must have spotted out that rotation. So good call on the disengage. They didn't want to overcommit. So, you know, Royalty, they got themselves a couple of picks. And then also they've got themselves into a situation where they could have got a pick, but backed out because it was too dangerous. So they're definitely learning from their mistakes.
Oh, we're forcing off the Draconic Transformation already. Shank. This is all going to be up for the next engagement. Richard Castle and Max, they're going to be happy about that one. After the rest of Team Pandemonium, right-hand side of Bates coming out. Suspira, low, into the last breath. The ultimate, and that's going to be a kill. So the poison might spread. Oh, but Royalcasted gets away just in time.
Suspira falls down. Kikyomiyo still fighting Royalcasted. Ochita has rotated here as well. Suspira arrowed off. Good purification, though, from Royalcasted to keep himself alive. Maxon gets a kill in the mid lane onto Cosner. And now, that is 2 members of Royalty down. Only 1 from the side of Team Pandemonium. Maxon and Richard Castle, they've got a good siege effect here. With the sustain coming through from the Sylvanas. And Maxon could put out a decent amount of tower damage at this point with a penetration from the Shoes of the Magi.
Yeah, the entirety of the reason that Team Pandemonium were in the enemy jungle is because, guess what? Speed buff was up, and guess what? They invaded it once again. Just consistently. I don't think I've seen a game from Pandemonium this split so far. Bear in mind, this is only the 4th one, but they haven't been invading that speed buff on pretty much every single timer.
I think it's really important as well. They prioritize the speed buff over the tier 1 tower there. That's just denying it to Royalcasted, and it's keeping this Alquang out of the game. And look, he's 3 levels behind Ro, but he's 4-2-0 already. He's still managed to get some kills because that execute, it means that you don't even have to really fully get a kill onto someone to get them in the threshold, and that's allowed him to get some farm in this game. He's still behind Ro, but it's still giving him the potential to carry.
Oh, Jingwei gonna get caught out here by the World Weaver ultimate as well. Not gonna get blocked so far, but down comes the last breath. That's gonna be a kill all of its own. Kikyomiyo teleporting in, tries to take it away from Ro, but Ro gets the kill.
Royal Custard went onto Maxon there, but a good purification, a good Valkyrie's Discretion from Maxon kept himself alive, and the Wisp healing from Sylvanas.
Kikimiya's just fighting 3 right now. He's going to have to miss aggression out as rotation comes up from Suspira. Meditation is used to help save the life of the solo laner, but the Royal Custard rotation should claim the kill here. But Dazzling Effect's going to be off the mark. The blink and the execute gets the kill.
Alquan just needs to execute. Shank and Royal Custard looking for Richard Castle here. He doesn't have the greatest mobility in the world. Suspiria's here as well. Great route from Richard Castle. Prevents further aggression from coming down onto his own head. Ro fighting Suspiria here. The Draconic Form still being activated by Shank. And now it looks like Royalty trying to bait a fight here at this Gold Fury perhaps?
I don't think they're going to be able to fight into this Gold Fury, into Pandamonium. The Wrath is down, but I don't think Royalty X know that the Wrath is down. So they're going to have to back up. They're going to have to give up this Gold Fury. They can fight into it, potentially, but it's going to be a death sentence if they don't get the perfect engagement.
True. Suspiria already at a 25% HP. Good burst damage starting to come up from Royal Custard there. He managed to activate, I believe, his Polynomicon as well. Gold Fury started back up, so Team Pandemonium more than happy to keep this Gold Fury going and then eventually force a fight here because they have a superior sustain, I should say, with the Sylvanas.
Yeah, that's all they're doing is just they bait the Gold Fury down to about 50% HP, leash it with the Sylvanas whips, and just make sure that when Royalty do engage when it's on that 50% HP, that they're full HP and fight again. Maxing quite low as Royal Custard looks for the fight.
Royal Custard looking to stay alive now. Ro picks up Suspira. Ro sticking to Royal Custard now as well. Nowhere for him to run. Cheetah picks up the kill. Thegoris airstrike trying to stay alive as well as Shank. Thegoris dives back into the team. Kiki Omeo is just fighting Cosner by himself. Thegoris now knocks himself up, knocks himself to death. Cheetah with a triple kill. They're looking to start the Gold Fury, but now it looks like they're just going straight to the Fire Giant.
Well, there's nothing in mid to take except that tier 2 is all the way off the right hand side. Hey, speed buff stuff. I think they're going to go do that instead. Speed buff.
It wouldn't surprise me. It honestly wouldn't surprise me if they went into the speed buff instead of the Fire Giant. That's what Kikimi should just go do the speed buff and then come back to the Fire Giant. Easy.
Well,
and it's not being efficient. They're not mid-maxing.
Yeah, they're not getting the backup. It's not getting the blue or speed. This is terrible play. They shouldn't win this game for it.
Fire Giant gonna be within the Wrath threshold in just a second. Panda's gonna use it just in case.
Oh,
I'm not sure what.
Goodbye.
Oh.
I mean,
that's.
You can blame Richard Castle for that one, not putting enough into his healing there.
He should have just not been in that spot in the first place.
Yeah, should have gotten up by
yeah, it's the mid laner dies, but at the same time, it's not going to make that much difference. It's just sloppy play from Team Pandemonium. And really, the only thing you could say about that is that's the kind of thing Pandas need to tighten up when they face Avant-Garde. And we're hyping up Avant-Garde a lot, but I mean they did beat Team Pandemonium at the Split 2 finals 3-0. They beat Legacy there as well. So Avant-Garde, currently are the best team in OCE because they haven't been dethroned yet.
Yeah, I mean, statistically, you'd say they're the best team in OCE, but on the face value of it, I would say Team Pandemonium probably up there as well. Avant-Garde definitely, I would say, second, but Legacy just behind them in third. And now onto this left-hand side, Thegoris by himself, trying to defend this tier 1. You have to give that up because Ro's coming from behind you, and that is not something you want to say.
Thegoris has got airstrike, but he's not even going to get a chance to... Oh, he just got out with a poison apply at the end. Maxi can't hit him with the Valkyrie's Discretion. Thegoris escaping with the barest tick of health there. I'm not sure how the poison didn't kill him. Maxon, Ro, and Richard Castle take down the tier 1 tower in the left-hand side. Rochita's pushing the mid. Kikimiya's pushing the right-hand side. So all lanes being currently pushed by Team Pandemonium and being pushed very effectively.
4 versus 3 in favor of Royalty on this left-hand side, but I do think Team Pandemonium can still fight into it. I mean, Richard Castle with the sustain, he's got the blink, he's got the Wrath of Terror, so he's looking for the engage now. He's looking to wait for them to all group up and then blinks in, uses the ultimate, and then the fight breaks out, because Maxon on that Freya, and Ochita and Rosary on this circuit can put out excruciating amounts of damage.
Alright, Cosmos rotated to the backhand here. It's 3 members of Royalty defending this tier 2 tower. Kiki Omiyo's rotated over as well. There's going to be a fight. It's going to be right now. Cosmo actually forced away already. So, where's Pandemonium looking? Are they looking for the fight or are they looking for the tower?
Well, they're looking for the tower, but Richard Castle doesn't have too much in the way of physical protection. He's only got the 20 from Steel Mail, as well as the extra protections given to him by Wisp. It's 25 at this point. So, it's only 45 physical protection, which is not enough to tank up this tower effectively.
All right, left-hand side, tier 2 falls. Osner gets the poke down into Richard Castle, but he's just going to heal it straight back up with a Wisp, tanking the tier 2 tower in the mid. Rose clearing the minions to bring it back up to this direction. So Pandamonium clearing out the towers pretty systematically without even needing to get a kill.
Mid tier 2 going to be falling down as well, and Kikami doing his best to zone out the members of Royalty, but Tagora slips through the cracks. I don't think he wants to slip through the cracks anymore, as he's going to get bursted by Max, and again the airstrike at the last possible second, but this time gets cleaned up by the Valkyrie's discretion.
Royal Custer falls down as well. Shank pulled back in, even though he's in the draconic form. To say Cosner getting chunked here by Max and actually managed to get away into the disapparate form. Nowhere to run from Richard Castle there. Picks him up with a Verdant Growth. Middle Phoenix falls. Team Pandemonium now going to back away. Fire Giant only on them for about another 40 seconds here. So they're going to get the tier 2 tower on the right-hand side. Then I expect they're going to back by and look for another Fire Giant and then push into Royalty's base.
Well, they're going to get the tower, then they're going to get the speed buff, then they're going to back.
The speed buff, of course.
Yeah, Rose heading towards it right now. He's like, oh, I forgot my prize.
Yeah. This isn't Royalty speed buff anymore. This is Rose buff.
Well, every buff is Rose buff.
Yeah. He just chooses to give them to his teammates when he's feeling nice.
Yeah, he's nice like that. And speaking of nice, Gold Fury trying to fight a cheetah 1 versus 1, but Rose making his rotation just to help him out. Because a cheetah, guess what? He does have the Fire Giant buff, so he doesn't have that great sustain against it.
Yeah, the Fire Giant buff gonna fall off in 2 seconds from the rest of the team as well. There it goes now. Fire Giant respawning in just about a minute. If you take a look at Rose's build, he's got 2,800 gold in hand, so I expect him to get some crit here. Might even sell the Boomer's Mask just so he can get a full Deathbringer, and that is exactly what he's going to do. But up to this point, he actually got double penetration. He got a Jotun's Wrath, and he got a Brawler's Beatstick. The healing that's on the side of Royalty, you've got a little bit from the Fafnir, a little bit from the Soul, and a little bit from the Amaterasu. You've also technically got some from the Ao Kuang on his Execute, but the Brawler just prevents any of that coming out.
There's also the lifesteal for Thagoras, because he's been able to get out of a couple of fights with the bare minimum amount of HP needed to live. And with this Brawler's Beatstick, it just means that that won't happen again. And this Deathbringer is certainly going to compound that fact.
Bro, his Flash line is 5-2 and 8. Peter's 6-2 and 4. Everyone on Team Pandemonium's got impressive slash lines, but Max and Kikiamiya especially 5-1-11, 4-1-12 for both of these guys, so showing great involvement in these team fights. And now Pandemonium looking for the Fire Giant. If Royalty give this one up, I expect it's going to be curtains, but if they fight here and lose, then it is certainly going to be curtains for them.
It's a rock in a hard place, and Royal Custer's going to try to escape from that hard place. Oh, the Leap's going to find him straight away. A quick lockdown of his invisibility. Going to be no healing, taking that tick true damage. Rowe picks up the kill, and the poison spread. That's going to be a double kill, possibly a triple kill.
Maxon takes the kill instead. Cosner, only one left here, defend the right-hand side in the disapparate form, so as soon as he gets out of that, you could bet Rowe's going to have something to say about him escaping. Sanctuary is used. Cosner taunted towards the Goros, and now Team Pandemonium pressuring down the right-hand side. They haven't even gone for the Fire Giant. They're just going straight for the win.
They don't need the Fire Giant to win. But look at the damage onto Costa. That's just Maxon on Freya at this late game with a roll as a hootie.
The Goros desperately trying to defend here. He's only one man against 5 pandas. Never a situation you want to find yourself in, especially when those pandas are attacking your Titan. 5 minions going to be pushing down the middle lane. Royal Custard and Shank have respawned. So pandas still have to be careful here. Royal Custard could still find an execute onto a low member if they're not careful. They don't have the Fire Giant sustain. Royal Custard, in fact, gets a kill onto Rowe. Shank falls down to Maxon. It's not going to be enough, though, as the Titan falls down. Pandemonium take their second set in as many nights, and Royalty lose the second set in as many nights. Pandas sitting atop the leaderboard of the OPL.
Hey, they have played 2 games, so it's a bit of an unfair comparison to the rest of the teams. And similar to Royalty sitting in the bottom, it's, again, an unfair comparison because no other teams have played 2 sets as of yet. But Royalty struggling in their first week, and it's an unfortunate welcome to the OPL for them.
Alrighty, we are going to be talking now with the captain of Pandemonium for the second time in as many nights, Rowe. Rowe, welcome back. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Hello, hello.
That's good. So, we've already obviously talked about the roster changes and all that, so we won't go into that. We're going to talk a little bit more depth about these games. So, you saw Cat pick in the second game. What was your thoughts on that one? You played Najar, I believe, yesterday as well, and you showed great proficiency on that. What was the thoughts in not choosing that one and choosing the Saket instead?
It's more or less just mind games. I know that Royalty are a newer team, so if we have the early pressure, then they're going to give up a lot of buff camps and stuff like that. And I felt we could snowball early, so the early pick was just the Socat.
Kiki and Mio playing Raven 3 out of the 4 games. I imagine that's just to get him comfortable in the solo lane.
It's not even just to get him comfortable. He's comfortable on other gods too. It's just that Raven is a little ridiculous right now. He's getting nerfed tomorrow night, well, Tuesday night, so maybe it'll see some change, but I think he's just pretty overpowered right now.
Nerfed.
Yeah, nerfed in quotation marks. The Osiris pick,
Yeah.
as well as something I want to talk about. We saw Corvidae versus Alpha Sydney. That when Corvidae wanted to play something that could win the lane, they played the Sun Wukong. Is Osiris just something? You were saying Kiki's comfortable on other gods. Is that just one of the other gods that Kiki's comfortable on?
Yeah, it's just one of them. I mean, I'm not going to name every god that he's comfortable on,
Obviously, yeah.
but yeah, Osiris is just one of them.
Andy, any questions for our guest?
Just a couple. What were the comms like when Ochita was killed by the fire giant?
He knew it was going to happen because he got knocked up and he couldn't get away from the second hit. Apparently, he was trying to Aegis, so he said it wasn't his fault and his Aegis didn't go off or whatever. So.
All right, and Richard Castle playing Sylvanas for the 3rd time this week as well. Is this a comfort pick for him, or is this something again, like you said, mind games about the early game?
It's just one of our better picks. Yeah, obviously it's working for us in early game and stuff like that. That's what we've been drafting towards just this week. So maybe we'll see some switch ups, but at the same time, Sylvanas seems to be pretty underrated by everybody else, and we like him.
All right, before we let you go, do we have any shout outs you'd like to give?
Of course, to the org, Pandamonium, Chinglish, Razor, and all the fake followers that we just got on Twitter.
So now 14k followers.
Yeah.
Somehow I'm disbelieving that a little bit.
Yeah.
Alrighty, thank you very much for joining us, Ro. We will see you next week, along with all the rest of the teams in the OPL. So week number 2 going to be on Saturday next week and Sunday. Again, 2 games on both of those nights. We're going to open up Saturday with Legacy Esports taking on Avant-Garde, a rematch of the semi-finals at the Split 2 LAN. Alpha Sydney going to take on Royalty for the second match of that night. And on Sunday, Team Pandemonium takes on Corvidae. Avant-Garde takes on Alpha Sydney. So, for everyone here at Cybergamer, thank you very much for tuning in to the SMITE OPL. Thank you all for your time. We'll see you next week.